Let me know if this sounds like you. You've been playing guitar for a pretty decent amount of time and you practice all the time with a metronome, without, but you just can't get your soloing technique to that upper echelon where everything feels flowing and connected. If that sounds like you, then this video is undoubtedly for you. We're going to go over, in my opinion, in my nearly 20 years of playing, the 3 most essential techniques to get your playing up to that level where you can achieve that seamlessness and flow state that the top guitar players of the world have. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name's Nate. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing all things guitar to give you that technique you've always dreamed of and get you to that professional level. Just a quick note, all tabs in this video will be available on my Patreon, so please go check that out if you're interested. Information for that below in the description. All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. There are 3 things we're going to cover in this lesson that really will be the essential building blocks of guitar technique. Legato, right? Staccato, and time, right? These are the 3 things you need to be a shredder, in my opinion. It's not more complicated than that. People make it, yes, there's sweep picking, there's tapping, but this all comes down to legato, staccato, and time. So first, we're going to focus on legato. Now, what is legato? Now, it means a lot of different things. On piano, it's a different thing, but on guitar, it typically means when you pick one note and sort of let your fretting hands inertia from pulling off and hammering on, which is the action of going forward and backward, sort of provide the sound of a lick. So, you know, one famous one might be, you can see here, my picking hand is only going cha-chunk, 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 and the fretting hand is taking care of the rest. Now, this is an essential technique if you want to play fast, if you want to shred, if you like. Let's get going. So what you're going to want to do, we're going to be on frets on the G string, right? 5, 7, and 9. So this shape, 1, and that's fingers 1, 2, and 4, right? And so all we're going to do, right? We're going to start by picking the 9th fret, right? We're going to pick the 9th fret, and then we're going to pull off to the 5th fret. Now, this is great because already just the start of the exercise is unconventional and targets your weakest point and strengthens it immediately. That is the pinky pulling off to the index finger. This is not something people typically start with when they do legato, but by doing this, you're really already targeting the weakest point and strengthening it. So anyways, we're going to go 9th to 5th. Then we're going to hammer on 7th. Then 9 with the pinky, right? So the whole exercise is 9, pull to 5, hammer 7, hammer 9, pull to 7, pull to 5. So slow, it sounds like this. Right, and what this does is it's a great sort of rote memorization exercise you can practice while you're cooking. I don't know how you'd cook with this, but you know, while you're watching TV, while you're watching some other piece of media, because I know one thing students struggle with in the modern day as opposed to when I was learning is just how hard it is to focus. So this, all you need is a click going, a metronome, and you can be watching whatever. Right? You keep doing that, you're building up finger strength, you're building up coordination, and you're targeting this weakest element, which is the pinky, right? Now, to expand on that exercise, what you're going to want to do eventually, once you get this, right, in this position, what you're going to start doing is moving it down the A minor scale, right? Right? So as you can see, key thing here, we're still keeping it on one string. We're playing A minor. We're not going to do any string changes or anything like that that really messes up people in the beginning when they're trying to learn this. We're going to stay A minor just on the G string. But once you get this down and you start moving this pattern, and you get it up to speed, I got to say, a lot of times this just starts to sound like shredding and you're kind of moving into the zone. I mean, it's not exactly a lick, right? But you're almost there, or you're certainly at least up out of base camp to some ledge on the mountain of where you want to go. So again, practice that with a metronome. Start slow, 60 BPM, 80 BPM, whatever, and just slowly crank it up. While again, this is pure technique. This can be done while staring at a screen, okay? That's the key thing with legato. There's many other exercises, but this is sort of the key one in terms of improving that vibrato and getting yourself out of that rut and into the sort of area where you can start expanding, But that all stems from being able to get this very basic exercise under control. Okay, we're going to move on to staccato now. And staccato is commonly known, really, in the guitar community as alternate picking. Right, so we're going to apply the same principles we just did with the legato exercise to alternate picking, meaning we're not going to be looking to play some Yngwie lick. We're not going to be doing some Paul Gilbert lick. This is not going to be something musical per se. What we're going to do, and it can be anywhere on the fretboard, but let's say we'll start on fret 4. We're going to go 1, 2, 4 in terms of the fingers, 1, 2, 4, and frets 4, 5, 7. What we're going to do is just cross the strings in one position. We're not going to worry about changing positions to fit a scale yet. We're going to do this. Right? That is not a scale. But what this does is it starts to really train your fingers. It trains these two hands to sync up. The picking hand, the fretting hand, because the biggest thing about alternate picking is the sync. They have to be in sync because as this goes, this has to go, right? So right, that you keep doing that in the same way we spoke about with the legato exercise. Metronome on, you can be watching something, you could be reading something, you could be staring off into space, whatever. Right, and you're going to be able to do that. And you keep doing it over the course of months. You're building it up. Metronome, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Before you know it. But if you could get the synchronization between the hands really sort of perfect, you're going to be able to get to where you need to go. The third thing we need to cover is time. Now, this is a more abstract thing, right? This is kind of not a typical thing people put in when they're talking about sort of, playing fast and shredding and playing in a musical context, right? And the way you practice it, right? And this is kind of a more abstract thing, but just in your own head, just imagine it could be anything, a blues groove, a funk groove, and just, you want to. Right, you're going to want to start doing that. Now, this doesn't seem like it's that technically complicated, and it's not. It can mostly be done in pentatonic, right? But what this does, the key issue with shredding people have is that once they get the technique under their hand, they just kind of vomit it out in the middle, of a solo in a place where it's probably not landing rhythmically in a really satisfying way. And this is I'm just going to say this is a problem with people who just learned how to shred to guys who are, considered professionals in our field right now. So after you've practiced those two techniques, right, for a couple hours, whatever, and you can put on a backing track too. It doesn't need to necessarily be in your head. What you're going to want to do is try to place the notes within either imaginary groove in your head or with the track in the place where they should go. So if, right, this will, as you really get comfortable with this and you lock in and you really get it, right? When it comes time to your soloing and you're feeling like it's the right place to put, a super fast lick, you're going to know exactly where to place it. We want to play fast, guys, for musical reasons, not for ego reasons. That's the key thing here. If you want to play fast, it should be, it's fun, it's impressive, yada, yada, yada. But ultimately, once you get the technique, you got to know how to use it and where to place it. So those are the three exercises I would say you practice those. Now, in the next episode, we're going to get into theory and we're going to get into sort of like, musicality in a more deeper way of, scales and whatnot. But before we can even get there, your legato, your staccato, and your time feel, you could start really feeling good with those. Then we open it up to scales. You've already surpassed a bunch of guys, in a much quicker and more efficient way, in my opinion, than people who are talking about triads, who are talking about melodic minor, listen, all these things are real things that are concepts. I'm not trying to shit on them, but trying to ingest that all at once while you're still building your technique up, I just think our brains are already too scattered as it is, right? So like I think that that is the proper way. We get technique, we get the base of the house built, then we build a first floor, then we build a second, third, etc. And that's how you become, in my opinion, sort of like one of the a really good guitar player. So anyways, guys, thank you for joining me. If you like this, all the information for the tabs that we're using this will be available in the description. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and stick around because we're going to make this, I think, a 5-part series. And the next episode will be covering more theoretical stuff. So thank you guys for coming, and I will see you in the next one.